Let us now receive Mr. Deutch.
Thank you, Congresswoman Millender McDonald, for holding this public meeting, for giving me the opportunity to talk with members of this community about charges that the CIA introduced crack cocaine into South Central Los Angeles in the mid-1980s. Thank you, Principal Webb, for allowing us to use this high school. I'm going to be brief. I want to make 4 points and only 4 points. First, the people of the Central Intelligence Agency and I understand the tremendous horror that drugs do to Americans, that drugs do to families and communities, and the way drugs kill babies. We understand how ravaging drugs are to this country. CIA employees and I share your anger at the injustice and lack of compassion that drug victims encounter. Second point I want to make to you is the following. The CIA is fighting to stop drug lords from bringing drugs into the country. For example, in the mid-'80s, at the same time the allegations that are being made here about the CIA bringing drugs into Los Angeles, the CIA was helping bring down the drug lords in the Medellin cocaine cartel in Colombia. During the past 2 years, while I have been Director of Central Intelligence, our case officers, intelligence operations, have directly worked to capture all of the Cali cartel drug lords. We have seriously disrupted the movement of cocoa paste between the growing areas of Peru and Bolivia to the cocaine processing facilities in Colombia. And we have seized huge amounts of heroin grown in the poppy fields of Southwest Asia. Our purpose is to stop drugs from coming into the United States. So my second point to you is that the CIA is fighting against drugs. Now, our activities are secret, and accordingly, there is not a lot of public understanding of what we do. I understand that people are suspicious of the CIA. In the course of recruiting agents to penetrate drug cartels, to break up those groups that bring drugs to the United States, our case officers, our men and women, deal with bad people, very bad people, sometimes at great risk to their lives. These are criminals with which we must deal if we are going to stop drugs from coming into the country. They frequently lie about their relationships with us for their own purposes. So it is hard for the members of the public to know what's true and what is not true. Now, we all know that the U.S. government and the CIA supported the Contras in their efforts to overthrow the Sandinista government in Nicaragua in the middle '80s. Now, it is alleged that the CIA also helped the Contras raise money for arms by introducing crack cocaine into California. It is an appalling charge. It is an appalling charge that goes to the heart of this country. It is a charge that cannot go unanswered. It says that the CIA, an agency of the United States government, founded to protect Americans, helped introduce drugs and poison into our children and helped kill their future. No one who heads a government agency, not myself or anyone else, can let such an allegation stand. I will get to the bottom of it, and I will let you know the results of what I found. I have ordered an independent investigation of these charges, and the third point I want to make to you is to explain the nature of the investigation. I have asked the CIA Inspector General to undertake a full investigation. He is the right official to do so for the following reasons. First, the Inspector General is established by law of Congress, to be independent, to carry out activities to look for fraud and crime within the CIA. Secondly, the Inspector General has access to all CIA records and documents, no matter how secret. Third, the Inspector General has the authority to interview the right people. Fourth, he is able to cooperate with other government departments, for example, the Department of Justice, the DEA, the Department of Defense, all of which had operations ongoing in Nicaragua at the time. And finally, the Inspector General has a good track record of being a whistleblower on past misdeeds in the CIA. For example, just last month, he uncovered CIA employees were misusing credit cards, and they are now in jail. In carrying out this investigation, I've asked the Inspector General to consult with several groups. The House and Senate Intelligence Committee, 2 members of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Harman and Congressman Dixon, are here today, the Congressional Black Caucus and others, to build public confidence that this inquiry is fair and thorough. Your elected representatives will be kept informed. Most importantly, when this investigation is complete, I intend to make the results public so that any person can judge the adequacy of the investigation. This investigation report of the Inspector General will be reviewed by myself, both intelligence committees of the House and Senate, the President's Intelligence Oversight Board. Anyone in the public who has a wish to look at the report will be able to do so. And throughout this period of time, we will be cooperating with the ongoing investigations that are underway in the House and in the Senate. I want to stress that I am not the only person in the CIA who wants a complete and independent investigation of these charges. Our employees do not want any Americans to believe that the CIA was responsible for this kind of disgusting charge. Finally, I want to say to you that as of today, we have no evidence of a conspiracy by the CIA to engage in encouraging drug traffickers in Nicaragua or elsewhere in Latin America during this or any other period. However, I am going to wait and see what the results are of this Inspector General's investigation. Let me once again thank you for the courtesy of listening to me. My message is simple. The men and women of the CIA must obey the law, and we are committed to protecting American families from the drug lords that poison our children. CIA fights drugs. CIA does not encourage drugs. The independent Inspector General investigation that is underway will be thorough, and the results will be made public. And finally, if any wrongdoing is discovered, we will pursue it, and those responsible will be brought to justice. Thank you for your courtesy in listening to me, and I look forward to hearing your questions. Thank you very much.